En un pozo,
por ahí María se va,
la viejita le decía,
por ahí María se va,
que viejito más sabroso.
por ahí María se va.
Hey, Shalom family, all praise to Abba Yahweh Shem Mashak Yahushai. Still in DR. We got the Monkey Ranch. We about to go see the plantations. You know, for all the people that are saying that the northern tribe are not Israelites, we about to go see the sugar plantations and show how our people was treated by the Spaniards. So Shalom, I'm trying to get a lot of footage.
The mountain goes east to west of the coast, and underneath runs the Anamuya River. Anamuya is a Taino word for cotton flower. Yep.
Now is coffee.
Hey, Shalom family. So we're still in DR. If you look at the different trees and different things, the higher the tree is, that was the mark of the plantation. That's how you know where the plantations was, by the tall trees. You know, each tall tree marks a plantation. So right now, we at the sugar plantation when Christopher Columbus came here in 1492. This is what he made our people work. He put our people in slavery, just like Judah and our brothers and sisters that was in America. They was picking cotton. Here, our people was making sugar, picking sugar cane, and making coffee and stuff. So this is a sugar plantation. This is also they make cocoa and also coffee. So when Christopher Columbus came here in 1492, he put our people in hard bondage, hard slavery. If you look over, this is how they make it. You know, they cook it, right? Then you have, they grain, what is the coffee. This is them graining it, and then they beat it, and they pound it to crush it, and then they pick the they pick the beads. So you know, it's a lot of work. You know, he said, you know, it takes a long time. So Christopher Columbus had our people working sun down, sun up. You know what I mean? Working, you know, a long time. So, you know, for all our people that's talking about the northern tribe is not Israelites, they never was in slavery. This is a sugar plantation, coffee plantation, and also a cocoa plantation where hard bondage. We went past the slavery, the house, the slave master house. You know, it's modern day times now, so they try to fix it up and put different coloring and different things, but it's still a plantation. It's still, it was plantation houses. They fixed them up and so forth and so on, but, you know, they still put our people in hard bondage. And, you know, this is what it looks like right now. Christopher Columbus house. Now this is the house where all the governors, the captains, the officers, any of the soldiers lived. So down there was Christopher Columbus house. Then you had the cathedral, the Catholic church, and then you had the governor's house, the officers, the soldiers, and this is where the war would take place. If you look at the canyons, you would see that was to defend any pirates or anybody that was trying to come into the island. Hey, Shalom family, we in Santo Domingo. We got the first church of Christopher Columbus established, teaching our people Catholicism. Right down the street is Christopher Columbus house, which is right next door to the Catholic church. So this is what they forced the Tainos and our people to join, either be Catholics or to be put to death. So this is the first church that was established in the Americas. The Catholic Church, the first Catholic church that was established in the Americas. Christopher Columbus had our people build this for him, which we stated earlier that the house, Christopher Columbus house, is right next door. They built this Catholic church, you see it, nothing but full with idols. So just like the Bible says in Hosea that Ephraim is joined to idols, this is the outcome. Full of idolatry. So this is fitting the curses of our people that we will serve different gods. Gods of wood and gods of stone. So we just went inside the first Catholic church in the Americas, right here in Santo Domingo in Dominican Republic. We went inside there full of idolatry, full of idols, full of Caesar Borgia, the white image of who the world calls Jesus Christ. You know, full of idols, full of everything that the Lord is not okay with. So I'm gonna read a scripture right here. It's Leviticus chapter 26, verse 1. Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven images, neither rear ye up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land, to bow down to it, for I am the Lord your God. So the Lord told us not to put no idols or no idols of stone or wood. We weren't supposed to serve different gods. The Lord told us not to make images. So we went up in the first Catholic church of Santo Domingo, and it was full of idolatry and images, graven images. So we must repent and come out of the ways of this wicked world and serve the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we're about to go pass out flyers to our people, you know, edify our people through the Spirit of the Most High. By Shem Mashiach Yahushai. About to show our people. You know, if you look what we in front of, we're right in front of this the first Catholic church, which a bunch of our people out here, you know, so we about to pass out flyers, edify our people through the Spirit of the Most High. So we right here and the Taino caves, where the Taino used to hide from the Spaniards. So if you look over here, look down here, these are the Taino caves. So we about to go into the book of Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Jews in Spanish and Portuguese discovery by Dr. M. Haseler. Right there. So, this is page 14. It says, this book interested Columbus so much that he exerted 3 whole chapters. He was also very fond of reading the book, the Bible, and the 4th book of Ezra. So we're going to go into the book of Ezra to see what he was reading. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captives. And he carried them over the waters. And so they came into another land. So you can read about this in 2 Kings chapter 17, where 1 Kings tells you after, I believe it's 1 Kings chapter 11, when King Solomon died, the kingdom split. You had Rehoboam and Jeroboam. So once the kingdom split after King Solomon died, roughly 900 something BC, once the kingdom split, the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes went to the northern kingdom, and the 2 tribes went to the southern kingdom, which Levi, being the priest, split it up. So verse 41 says, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathens and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So we all know that this is considered over here the New World. So when Christopher Columbus came to Hispaniola, the island of Hispaniola, he called this the New World, because this land was not known by the other nations. We knew about it. Verse 42, that they might there keep their statute, which they never kept in their own land. So our people was not following the ordinance that the Most High told us. We wasn't keeping His law, statute, commandments. Why? I'm gonna go to Hosea chapter 4, verse 17. It says, Ephraim, which Ephraim represent the northern kingdom, is joint to idols. Let him alone. So Ephraim, the northern kingdom, is full of idolatry. So that's why right here in Dominican Republic, you see nothing but idols. We went to the churches, we went into the shops, the stores, you see nothing but cross, idols, Virgin Mary. You see all these angels, all this stuff, full of idolatry. So, I mean, you got tattoos all over their bodies. It's ridiculous down here. So it's full of idolatry down here. So the Lord is letting our people know that was the reason why the northern kingdom got kicked out of the land of Samaria, which is northern Israel, because they did not want to keep the statutes. So let me continue. Verse 43, and they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and hails to the flood till they was passed over. Because those waters are very rough. So the Lord makes sure that we had a peaceable, safe trip over here. Verse 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsareth. So when you look up that word Arsareth in the Jewish Encyclopedia, which we're going to put up, it tells you that Christopher Columbus identified the Americas as the land of Arsareth. So it was not known to the land. It wasn't known to the this land was never called America. It was known as the land of Arsareth. So when Christopher Columbus came over here and landed on this island, invaded this island, he knew who he was dealing with. So let's continue on this. So it says, according to his own assertions, the incentives that impelled him to plan his discoveries was not the love of science, but his interpretations of the prophecy of Isaiah. So he knew that the world wasn't flat like people think, to the point where if you go where you can't see no more, you're gonna fall off a cliff and you're gonna die. No, those was myths. Those was all lies that was pushed back there. They understood that the earth cannot be flat to a point where you can keep on going and fall off. They understood that if you look up and see the heavens, and see the moon and the sun, it's a spear shape. So that's why Christopher Columbus did not find this land due to the love of science, but reading the Bible, and understood that reading the Bible, he understood from the Bible that the earth was not flat. It was a spear shape. So we're gonna also go into page 97. It says, even in recent times, the Englishman Lord Kingsborough devoted his time, his attainments, and the greater part of his large fortune to the publication of the collections of American documents in order to prove that the Jewish origins of the Americans. So a lot of people trying to say, oh, the Hispanic Native Americans, they're not Israelites. Why would white people, Europeans, Esau, or whatever you want to call them, if you want to call them Esau or Ishmael, whatever you want to call the so-called white man, why would he, being the devil that the Bible speaks about, spend a lot of his fortune just to prove that these people are the chosen of the Most High? Why would he do that? If these people was nobodies, if these people were savages and beasts, like some Israelites are teaching out there. So it says, it is not improbable that the Jews who was driven from Nineveh by Salmanassar wandered into uninhabited regions, right over here. That's why it was people over here that had their own language, their own guidelines, because they understood the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible, and they was going by this. So this is page 90 of the book, Christopher Columbus, The Participation of the Jews in Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries. So page 90, it reads, among the explorers, companions whose names have been down to us, the complete list is lost. There were several men of Jewish stock. For example, Louis de Torres, a Jew who had occupied a position under the governor of Murcia, who was baptized shortly before Columbus sailed, as he understood Hebrew, Chaldee, and some Arabic. Christopher Columbus explored him as an interpreter. So, why would, if these Taino Indians, if these Mayan Indians, or these Arawak Indians, these Carib Indians, these Aztec Indians, these Inca Indians, you know, so forth and so on, if they was just scavengers and beasts that didn't have no language of their own, no culture of their own, why would Christopher Columbus hire Hebrew interpreters on the ship, brought them on the ship with him to come over here as an interpreters if they didn't speak Hebrew, if they wasn't Hebrews? So let's go into Acts. Let's go to Acts, I believe it's 27 verse 14. Check this out. It says, and when we were all fallen, this is when Yahweh Shai met Paul or Saul to the role of Damascus. So verse 14 says, and when they was all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecute thou me? Is it hard for thee to kick against the pricks? And I said, who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Yahweh Shai, whom thou persecutest. So Yahweh Shai, the anointed Savior, who the world calls Jesus Christ, spoke Hebrew. And we all know that was the language of the Hebrew Israelites, of the Israelites. So if Christopher Columbus brought Hebrew interpreters over here to translate, because it's impossible for me to be speaking English and you speaking Spanish and us to have a peace treaty or to have for us to even talk, communicate. So they spoke Hebrew throughout North, South, Central America. As a matter of fact, let's see else what this book says. So this is page 99 of the book Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in Spanish and Portuguese Discovery. So it says, circumcision prevailed among the Indios, or Indians, people of God, the people of God, which we all know in Genesis chapter 17, Abraham received the covenant of circumcision. Circumcised are every male child by the age of 8 days. A male child is supposed to be circumcised. So the people of God, the Indios people, practice circumcision. It says they often bathed in rivers and streams. They refrained from touching the dead, which when you read Numbers chapter 19 verse 11, that was a law that we we're supposed to touch the dead and do the work of the priest. You would be unclean. Matter of fact, I read that real quick. It says, he that touches the dead body of any man should be unclean 7 days. So they understood the law of touching the dead bodies. It says, and touching the dead and from tasting blood. So when you go to Leviticus 19:26, it tells you that we're not supposed to eat blood, because the blood was given is a purifier. It was to be cleansed for our sins, to make an atonement for our sins. So we needed that blood. Your sins couldn't be forgiven unless through that blood sacrifice. It says they had definite fast days. Marriage with sisters-in-laws was permitted, and they was childless widows. Wives was discarded for new helpmates. They also sacrificed first fruits on high mountains and under shady trees, which we just celebrate the Feast of Weeks, or Pentecost, last week. So these natives throughout North, South, Central America and the islands was doing these same feasts. They used to give their first fruits to the Most High. It says they also sacrifice first fruits on the high mountains and under shady trees. Like it tells you in Hosea 4:13 that the northern kingdom used the sacrifice under the shady trees. It says they had temples and carried a holy ark before them in time of war. There were also, like the 10 tribes, inclined to idol worship. And so that's where they was going off. And that's why the Lord sent the conquistadors over here to punish our people, because of that idolatry that our people was, idol worship that our people was caught up in. So the Lord told our people not to follow after idols. Do not make graven images. But our people start to do it. And so our people was put under the Spaniards, and the Spaniards put our people in hard bondage, made them slaves, killed millions of them, took their wives. Killed their babies, brought thousands upon thousands of them to Spain to be slaves. I'm about to go into the book called The Black Indians. So this is page 26 of the book called The Black Indians. It says, page 26, it reads, for the people of the Americas, the arrival of Columbus was hardly a blessing. On his first day, October 12, 1492, the explorer wrote in his diary, "I took some of the natives by force." He later found the original inhabitants to be tractable. Peaceable, and concluded there is not in the world a better nation. Let me read something. He said there is not in the world a better nation than who? Than these Indios, than these people of God. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. He started by shipping 10 chained Arawak men and women to Seville, Spain. So, how did it get from the islands to Spain? Let's see. He wrote to King Fernando and Queen Isabella about the business possibilities. From here, in the name of the blessed Trinity, we can send all the slaves that can be sold. When he loaded 1,100 Taino men and women aboard 4 Spanish ships. He loaded 1,100 Taino men and women aboard 4 Spanish ships. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt or bondage again with ships. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall save you or buy you. So we just read how they shipped men and women from this island and brought them to Spain to be slaves. And the king or queen of Spain understood that, man, this is profitable. So let's get more slaves. So they sent even more, 1,000 upon 1,000 more slaves from the islands and brought them to Spain. They sent 1,000 and 1,000 upon so-called Mexicans and brought them to Spain, and so forth and so on, So this proved that the northern tribes, so-called Hispanic Americans, fit the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Therefore, they are the children of Israel. Las Casas led a determined effort to halt Indian bondage. He pointed out that Indians died off by the thousands from slavery and European diseases. Let me get that. Deuteronomy 28, verse 59. Then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and the long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continence. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. So they understood. So these Taínos fit the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Let me read this part again. Las Casas led a determined effort to halt Indian bondage. He pointed out that the Indians died by the thousands from slavery and European diseases. So our people was dying at a high number. a rapid number because of slavery and also the diseases. Forced labor in Spanish mines in the Americas was so harsh that the average worker died before he was 26. So our people was working in the Spanish mines. Our people was working in the fields, the cocoa plantations, the coffee plantation, the sugar cane, the sugar plantations. So our people was picking all different type of, they had the cotton flower. So our people was picking cotton down here in the islands, not just in Americas, not just Judah, but also down there in the islands, our people was picking cotton. So this is showing, let me read some more, that these Tainos, these people throughout North, South, Central America and the islands fit the curses of Deuteronomy 33. So let me read Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, because the 10 northern tribes was into idolatry, the Lord put a curse on the northern kingdom as well as the southern kingdom. Verse 16 says, curse should I be in the city. So we're going to show footage of what the Dominican Republic city, the capital, Santo Domingo, what it looks like. And it's poor. It looks, we think in the States we have the ghettos. I mean, it is horrible. Why is this place suffering so much? Why are the people here shipping their stuff, exporting their stuff to Israel? In Israel, they're getting pineapples from Dominican Republic. But our people are suffering here. Because why? They're still under the curses. So yes, this is a beautiful island. But the people here, our people here, are not reaping the benefits of this island. Verse 17 says, cursed shall be the basket of thy store. So, our people got businesses down here, but they're not prevailing, they're not succeeding, they're not being successful, they're struggling. Our people are making, what, $20 a week? $20 a week our people are making. That is nothing. So our people are sitting there complaining in the States, you know, I'm making $7.25, $8 an hour. But check this out. They're making that. They're making $20. What you make, with some people making an hour or in a few hours, our people down here is making it within a week, $20. And some make less than that. So, it says, I'm gonna just get the main points. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flock of thy sheep. So, we've been to the countryside. And like I said, our people got their own kettles. Our people, this island naturally grows fruits, but their land is still cursed. Why? Because they have all these blessings, but it's not a blessing to them because the other nations come here and reap the benefits. Even though they're doing all the work, they're not getting paid much for it. Let me see another one. Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So, We went to Santo Domingo to see the Taino caves where they used to run from the Spaniards to hide. And remind you, there was millions of natives throughout North, South, Central America and the islands. Millions upon millions. So we outnumbered the Spaniards. But why was we not able to conquer them? Why was we not able to defend ourselves? Because we are under the curses. Because the Lord was not going to fight our battle. Therefore, he was not on our side. Therefore, we got conquered to the point where we had to run, even if we seen one or two of them. And we might have been 100 deep. I'm just going to get the main point. Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. So, our people was married or engaged or promised to a woman, and the Spaniards came and raped our women. That fitting the curses, the Tainos down here in DR and the other islands and throughout North South America, our people, we fit the curse of Deuteronomy 28 because they was raping our women. We did build the houses. We showed the Christopher Columbus house where our people built it up. We built up the first Catholic church here. We built up the slave masters' houses that we seen. We built all that stuff up, but we did not. And it says, "Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather grapes thereof." We was not going to receive the benefits. It says, verse 33. Check this out. The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. So, our people are oppressed down here. And we've been talking to the brothers and sisters that's down here. And they telling you like this place is beautiful, but y'all have not seen nothing. Y'all only see the beautiful side of it. Y'all just seeing this. But the people that's living down here, that's being mistreated, that's why so much prostitution down here. That's why so much drugs people doing so much drugs, because our people are oppressed. A lot of our people have given up. They don't know. That's why you see on the highways, people are hustling. They're trying to sell whatever they can. Wherever we go, we get stopped. Oh, can you buy this? Can you buy this? I gotta feed my family. I got two kids at home I have to feed. So the other nations, we went to Santo Domingo, the capital of DR, and they have Chinatown. They have Chinatown right in the smack of the city. A huge Chinese population right down here in DR. We are being oppressed. We are being exploited by all nations. Nations are coming here and making millions off our people. And this is supposed to be our island, our land. It says, and our people are constantly oppressed. Like I said, our people work sun up, sun down, and only make $20 a week. So, I mean, that's why our people that's saying that the Northern Tribe are not the Hispanic Americans. That's because you haven't been nowhere. You have not been outside the country to see how our people are living down here. You're not going outside to see. It talks about in the scriptures about a man that travels has much wisdom. Because when you travel, you be able to see the curses are not just in America. It's North, South, Central America, the islands, and throughout the four quarters of the earth, wherever so-called blacks, Latinos, and Americans are, we are cursed. And our people here is more cursed than our people that's in the States. So our people that's not saying that all the Tainos, the Arawaks, the Caribs, they are not Israelites, you don't understand, you don't have no wisdom. Come down here and see how our people live. This is, we spend with black people, so-called black people. This is a black island. So I'm about to read Sirach chapter 34. When I quote it, I'm gonna read Sirach 34:9. It says, "A man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom." So when you travel and you see for yourself, not Google, not let's see what the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans look like, and you snap on a picture and they might show you some Spaniards, and you say, oh, they're not Israelites. When you come down here for yourself and travel, you would get more wisdom, because you would see that these people is us. When me and my wife was down here, as we down here, we got off the plane, we came, got right up, people, oh, hey, what's good, my brother? Y'all Dominican, right? Like, so many people thought we was Dominican because we the same people. So no matter where you go, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Brazil, Jamaica, whatever, people are gonna be like, you my brother. They gonna call you brother because they gonna relate to you. Come down here and see for yourself how our people are living. So let me go back to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 36. It says, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there should I serve other gods, wood and stone. So we went into the cathedral and we see nothing but idols of gold, of stone, of wood, of brass. I mean, it was just full of silver. I mean, copper. It was just full of all different types of idols. You know, I mean, like I said, you go into any shops, you don't see none but idols. You see people, we went to Santo Domingo, you see a bunch of brothers selling crosses. Like, hey, they got 50 crosses, you know, necklace on their arm trying to sell it. Say, hey, brother, buy this. Hey, sister, buy this. We're like, no, we don't buy idols. But that shows that our people are caught under the curses. So, verse 43, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be thy head, and thou shalt be the tail. So, like I said, you have Chinatown down here. You have a big Chinese population where they're coming here and making millions off our people. You have a bunch of Spaniards and other Europeans down here making millions. The Jewish people, they the one that own the majority of these resorts. And our people down here, they know that they're pretty much in modern day slavery. They know they're catching hell. Like I said, we talked to many of them, and they clearly set out like, this is like, no, we get treated horrible. We get treated like slaves. We don't get paid nothing, and they're making millions while they pay us crumbs off their table. So our people understand, they're not dumb. They understood that they're getting exploited. You know what I mean? So it says the strangers got up above. So all the other nations that come here, they get up above our people. Our people stay at the bottom. Let me see another one. Verse 48. Therefore should I serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So, the Lord said that we was going to serve our enemies. We already went into the book about the Christopher Columbus and also the Black Indians, showing you how the Taínos was put by the thousands on a ship and put in slavery. And they was also working in the mines and in the plantations in Dominican Republic and the other adjoining islands. And it says the hunger, thirst, and nakedness, we would have to go to them. Even though this is our island, this is our people island, they still have to go pay for electricity, water. They have to pay for these different things. Let me read again. Therefore should thy serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. So, even though this is our people island, we riding around. People don't have shoes. You got young boys barely have clothes. They're asking for money to buy some food. I mean, you got our people is struggling here. They're barely surviving. Where this is a beautiful island. So that's why when you go into the shops as well, like the Europeans are having them pretty much rent spots on the resorts to sell their stuff. So they have to pay a percentage to the hotel to sell on their own island. Where the Spaniards are coming here, they're not paying a percentage to our people to be in their island, to be taking over their land, but our people have to go to them to get permission to sell stuff outside their hotel, or like the brother said, the Levite brother, Haitian brother, because Haiti right next door, a lot of Haitians over here. The Haitian brother said they only allow once a week to come on a resort to sell their stuff. But this is their island. They fit the curses. And another thing too, just using common sense. If brothers and sisters are acknowledging, this is for the brothers and sisters that don't believe that Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Native Americans, Mexicans are Israelites. If you acknowledge that the so-called Haitians are Israelites, if you acknowledge that those are Israelites, in 1492 when Christopher Columbus came here, you had so-called Haitian people already here and so-called Dominican people already here, right? So if the Haitian people, you're acknowledging that they're Israelites, you might say they're either Judah, Benjamin, Levi. If you're acknowledging that those are Israelites, why in the hell how the hell did these Judites, Benjamin, Levites, what you call them, that's living in Haiti, how did they get to Haiti? And why was they sharing an island with heathens? Why didn't they just defeat them and kill them and enslave them? Why did they come together to defeat the Spaniards? Matter of fact, let's go back into the book Black Indians. Let me read page 33. That question right there, that's common sense. For anybody that should have common sense, that should ring a bell in your head and say, man, that makes sense. If the Haitian people are Israelites, who is these people right next door on the same island? So let's read this. Page 33 of the Black Indians. It says, in 1522, Europeans in the Americas first learned that slavery did not easily lead to enormous wealth. On Christmas Day, Africans, they called us, but it's Hebrews and Indian slaves on a plantation owned by Diego Columbus rose and murdered their masters and overseers. Nearby Native Americans joined the rebels. It's like the rebels. The beautiful island of Hispaniola shook with the first recorded slave rebellion in the New World. Right here on this island was the first rebel against slavery in 1522. So it wasn't no Harriet Tubman or Nat Turner. The first was right here in this island of Hispaniola. It says the conspiracy has spread across the sprawling sugar plantations in the weeks before Christmas. Patiently, the plotters waited until Christmas Day, when the planters and their families would be bloated with food, soaked with liquor, and too weak or sleepy to offer much resistance. Then they struck, plugging into the night to kill whites and find freedom. For 2 days they met little oppositions, but on the third, Spanish troops caught up with the rebels, and on an open field and open fire, the fugitives broke for the woods. The Europeans was unfamiliar with the treacherous terrain near the city of Santo Domingo. Few were willing to pursue their most dangerous slaves into an era suited to guerrilla warfare. Governor Diego Columbus, his Spanish troops and advisors decided on a new strategy. The governor hired Native Americans for the dangerous task of tracking the fugitive. A hunt began. The exact outcome is unclear. So the Tainos and the so-called Haitians came together, waited until the Spaniards was drunk and too weak to fight, and they attacked and killed all the Europeans that were around them and found freedom. So if you acknowledge that the Haitian people are Israelites, why would they be fighting along, joining together to fight to become free? When you read, actually it's a similar story. When you read about, in Genesis 34, I'm not gonna read all of it, but when you read about Genesis 34, about Diana, the daughter of Leah, being raped by some of those Africans, if you notice, let me read part of it. It says, let me get verse 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Diana, their sister, they have said unto them, we cannot do these things to give our sister to one of that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. So they raped our sister. So let's see what happened. So they told them that you have to get circumcised. Let me get straight to the point. Verse 24. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem, his son, hearken all that went out of the gates of the city. And every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon, which are the so-called Dominicans, and Levi, which are the so-called Haitians, Diana's brothers, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. So they plotted, just like the Tainos and the Haitians plotted against the Spaniards to get free from slavery in 1522 by the Spaniards. So let's go to Genesis 49 real quick. That same spirit of Levi and Simeon rolled off on their sons, their descendants. They had the same spirit of their forefather, Levi and Simeon. So when the so-called Tainos and the Haitians came together and fought and plotted against the Spaniards to be free, they got that from their forefathers in the Bible. So this is Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. It says, Simeon and Levi are brethren. So we all know that the 12 tribes, they're all brethren. What is this talking about? Brethren, meaning they're close. They will be side by side each other. That's why on this one island is divided. Haiti over here, Dominican Republic over here. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. O my soul, come not near thy secret unto their assembly. My honor to be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So, Simeon, so-called Dominicans, Levi, the so-called Haitians, they will be sharing the same island. They will be side by side, and the Lord said, don't come near their assembly because they're doing voodoo. Both sides are doing voodoo. They're doing witchcraft. So, the Lord is letting you know through the Spirit of the Most High that you would know that Simeon and Levi are living on this island right here called Hispaniola. So let me read the end part of this the last bit of this page of 33 again. So there was a part I wanted to touch upon. Or page 34, it says the governor, which was Diego Columbus, hired Native Americans for the dangerous task of tracking the fugitive. So that fits what? Prophecy. Turn your own brothers against themselves. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children which he shall lead. So that's why even in Haiti and Santo Domingo and Dominican Republic, they don't get along as much because of Diego Columbus, Christopher Columbus' son, hiring Tainos and other native tribes to fight against their own brothers, which that brought forth that curse, and that's why there's so much tensions amongst our people because of the curse. So let me read verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth. So from Spain to this island is a far way to travel, especially at that back then in those days with that technology. It says from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So that's why the Spaniards' bird was the eagle, and we did not understand their language because we spoke, like he said, a corrupt Hebrew, Assyrian Hebrew, because we just came out of the Assyrian captivity, and then we came over here 720 BC. So the Lord said that he was going to send a nation against us. He sent the Spaniards against us. That's Bible prophecy. Because if you think about it, from Spain to Africa, that's not the end of the earth. That would not fulfill this prophecy. So that's a cut for you blackalites that only think all the tribes are black. This scripture, let me read that part again. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth. So the Lord said he was going to bring a nation from far. From Spain to Africa is not that far, but from Spain to this island over here is very far. That's fulfilling prophecy. It says, and a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's why he brought Hebrew interpreters.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which should not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So they killed old and young. That's why they're not showing favor. That's why they're not showing favor to this day to the old and young. We see elderly poor people. We see young little kids walking by themselves, poor, asking for money. A lot of trafficking going down here. A lot of prostitution. A lot of kidnapping is going on down here. It's sad down here. You know what I mean? Like, just walking up and down, you really feel bad. That's why it's like, when you go places and you have your people asking for money, it's like, man, I wish you could do more, because it's that bad down here. So, verse 51, or Slaki, I'm gonna read verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. That's why these brothers and sisters down here, they don't know how they're gonna survive. They pretty much, trusting in their tips. That's the only way they can really survive on these resorts, getting tips. You know what I mean? Because if they don't get no tip, they are gonna struggle. And our people, they do not know how they're gonna make it. They don't know how they're gonna eat. They don't even know, they living day by day. They living off of faith, of hoping that somebody's gonna give them a tip to be able to feed their family. Because especially the brothers and sisters that's outside selling stuff, those people work off commission. If they don't sell nothing, they don't make nothing. They're not working hourly. They're not getting paid hourly. They're getting paid by commission. If they don't make nothing, they don't eat. They don't eat. They don't make nothing. They're not gonna bring their family home nothing. So that's why in the States, even our people that get commissions, work off commission, they still get a hourly wage in the States. So down here, our people are struggling. Our people are under the curses. So if you think that you are cursed in America and that only the Black Americans, Jamaicans, and Haitians are Israelites, come take a trip down here to the islands and see how our people are living in Dominican Republic.